What's up, Internet? We are doing our spoiler chat for episode 4 of Invincible. Please, if you have not seen the episode yet, go away.
Get out.
Come back later. My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
We get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
That's right. Welcome back. We are talking about Invincible,
Spoilers.
episode 4. Super spoilers.
Spoilers.
Can we start with we have to start with the spoiler of, like, this episode opens with a whole, like, Egyptian mummy scene. Yep. That has nothing to do with the rest of the episode.
Yeah. It's really weird. Some guy excavates, like, a tomb and goes inside and, like, reawakens this, like, old, like, pharaoh, I guess. And he's about to, like, the pharaoh, like, clearly takes over this man's body, possesses him, is about to walk out of the tomb. And then the doors just shut, and we never see them again.
I think the joke is that, like, the crane may drop the thing, and so the guy's trapped, maybe? And so I think it's, like, a satire of, like, the villain almost... But if the guy was powerful enough, he could have just moved it, right? Like, yeah. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna, like, come back later, or if it was... Anyways, it was a very weird start.
It was a very weird start, especially because the end of the last episode left off with a very... with a tease about Robot, the leader of the new Guardians of the Globe. And that is a tease that does not pay off until the very end of this episode again. This show, right now, and I get that all this is from the comics, and I understand that, but as far as, like, storytelling goes for a TV show, there are a couple of things in the show right now that feel a little all over the place, even though I am really enjoying... what is happening.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it as well. I have not read the comics, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm still invested. I'm still interested.
100%. Yeah, I'm still enjoying it.
It is. Yeah, just the choices are a little bit odd. We don't even really figure out any new information except that Robot, like, took a blood sample from Rex
to give to the Baron's child from Witcher 3.
That's
what it looked like, right?
The Loverkin.
Loverkin, yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't really find out new information in any of our storylines, right? No. Which is what I found kind of interesting about this episode, is I didn't feel like it moved anything forward, except for getting rid of Demon Blood. Like, that was the only, like, significant plot thing that happened. But then
he wasn't actually gotten rid of?
Yeah, he was sent back to hell.
But then at the end... Didn't he...
Oh, in the closet. Right.
The like, cold breath kind of, like, insinuates that, like, it was a setup?
So the only purpose of this episode was to bring the evil starfish back from Mars. And to insinuate that Invincible accidentally caused a Martian genocide.
Yeah, so that...
Like father, like son!
Wait, what?
Well, in the last episode, or 2 episodes ago... his father wiped out the Flaxen planet. And this episode, Mark kind of caused the end of the Martian planet.
Interesting. Okay.
The family does not have a great track record of going to alien planets in this show.
No, that makes me very worried for Earth.
No spoilers. Comics readers, be careful.
Yeah, I'm not going to read any of the comments on this video, just in case.
The Martian thing bugged me. Because, here's the thing. I looked it up, right? Because I was like, 2 weeks. You're telling me that they're going to go to Mars in 1 week, be there, and fly. Or less, right? Because they would have to, like, fly to Mars for, like, 4 days, then they would have, like, 4 days of mission stuff, then fly back. You're really telling me this is a 2-week mission when it takes 198 days to get to Mars? Like, I get it. Maybe they have, like, better technology than we have in real life. But I was just kind of like...
Well, I mean,
really,
they can get people...
It's so convenient.
They can get people to Mars. So if they can get people to Mars, then I feel like they have better, like,
but
they have ways to get there faster.
The first time we get to Mars will be the slowest time. We might eventually get it down to 2 weeks, but it's not going to be our first trip. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that our first trip to Mars is that fast is insanity.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you know, if it was like, we've been to Mars a few times, but they could have been like, if they wanted to make it 2 weeks, they could have explained it as like, it's an ambassador mission to go see the Martians, who we know exist.
Yeah.
It's just, it was a weird choice to be like, all right, it's our first time ever going to Mars. You'll be gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're like, wow, that's fast. Like,
wow, okay. Why haven't we gone there before then?
Also, goddamn, like, I love that he's just like, that Invincible's mom is just cool with him missing 2 weeks of school. Like,
/ I love that he's able to survive that trip with a very small, like, scuba tank. Like, a scuba tank that looks like it would hold, like, maybe, like
2 hours of
3
air?
or 4 hours of air for, like, a scuba trip.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like,
he's got 2 weeks of air and a sandwich.
Literally.
And, like, a single sandwich.
Wait, but
does he not need to eat food? Like,
I guess not. Also, how does he eat with the helmet on?
He opens it up. He doesn't have to breathe. He just has to not breathe in space, right? But as long as he holds his breath, he can be in space.
Right.
They set that up in the last episode.
Yes, I do remember that.
This whole Martian trip, it just opened more. None of it really worked for me.
No, it just didn't make sense, and it was all very all over the place, and it just didn't feel tight. You know,
it didn't feel as tight as the first 3 episodes of the show felt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, the only thing that it set up was the Martian genocide and bringing one of those, like, creepy crawly things back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally said if it gets back to Earth, like, Earth is dead. So,
which is fine, and, like, I'm glad that we have the villain. I just I felt like they didn't have to work so hard. I feel like I don't know if they worked too hard to make it easy, or if they didn't work hard enough to explain any of it. It's one of those two things.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I can't put my finger on it. You know,
it was just too easy. Like, them going to Mars and coming back and all of it, it was just too easy and pointless. Like, why did they go? Did they go literally just to step on Mars? Because they were there for, like, an hour, right? Like, they were on Mars for...
Yeah.
They were on Mars for the length of time that his phone lasts.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. You know, they did say, oh, you're back early, which insinuates that the scientists had meant to spend maybe a few days there.
Which means that you can get to Mars and back in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's a choice. You know, it's a choice.
It's a choice. But it was just a choice that didn't work for me. The everything about this episode did on Earth...
but the Invincible Martian stuff was like...
Mark's relationship with Amber, I really like it.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's very, like, high school.
And he's a terrible liar. Like, plan your lie before you show up.
Yeah, like, you have at least all the time it takes to, like, get to her place. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm going away for 2 weeks.
Where?
Somewhere.
He, like, hasn't
to do
thought
a
about
thing.
it. You would think that the government agency that he's working for could give him a cover.
Yeah.
You would think that Cecil would be like, all right, we're going to superimpose you into photos of you doing this, this, and this.
Yeah.
In my apartment right now, I have a green screen and I have Photoshop. I could fake a trip to Hawaii in, like, 3 hours. Yeah. You're telling me the government isn't giving the It's stuff like that where I'm like, why not just like fake it properly?
Yeah, like literally zero thought is put into this lie. I'm going to volunteer.
Yeah.
Somewhere. It's
worth it for the joke at the end when he gives her the rock and he's like, yeah, it's just a rock. Don't show it to a geologist or anyone who knows anything about rocks.
Yeah, that was a good moment. Because it's from Mars.
Mars rocks. There are Mars rocks on Earth.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, they're very old. But, like, apparently, like, asteroids, like, hit Mars, and then it, like, fell off of the planet, and then it landed on Earth. And then we have Mars rocks, apparently.
Okay. That makes
That's
sense.
a thing I heard on a podcast that might not be true. But, like, it was a science podcast.
That should be its whole podcast. Things I heard on a podcast that may not be true.
Should we start another podcast?
No.
But I like the stuff with Omni-Man and Mark's mom. I can't remember her name. Sandra Oh's character.
Yeah.
We'll call her Sandra after the incredible actress who is voicing her. I liked I liked seeing Omni-Man really, like, pushing to his wife into his corner. And, like, kind of manipulating her there.
It was like, gross, but it was, like...
100% gross.
It was in character. Like, it was, like, well done. I was like, fuck, I would fall for that.
And interesting to see his priorities, right? Like, we literally see his priorities because a dragon attacks Rome. And he's like, whatever. This is more important. He's like,
I'm on vacation. Like, let Cecil earn his paycheck. And I was like, okay. All right, then.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, no fucks given.
Yeah. And then, like, but then there's, like, the other storylines in this episode that I feel like should be more important, but just, like, the episode didn't care about, which is the Adam Eve stuff, which is really interesting that she's, like, doesn't want to be a superhero because her boyfriend cheated on her. That's, like, that's a totally, I get it, right? Like, if you tied so much of your identity to this team that you and your boyfriend were on together.
Yeah, like, I don't want to do it anymore.
And you lost all of that overnight because of a decision that he made. It like, taints the whole experience. And I totally get that. I've been in that position where I've been in a show with a girl and we broke up and the show lost its fun for me.
Yeah.
Because, and I love performing, you know what I mean? It's my favorite thing in the world, but, like, I just didn't want to do it in that moment.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
She became so relatable. I just wish we'd spent more time with her.
Yeah, she was in the episode very briefly. I don't think that'll be the norm, you know? I think that this was just, like, kind of, like, maybe, like, a weaker middle episode. So, well, we'll see what they give us next week.
We also got the beginning of the relationship between Monster Girl and Rexplode.
Yeah.
That was the thing. That was the thing we didn't want in the right.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely seem like the type of people who, like, function, whose, like, relationships function through angry sex. Sorry.
It's just so, like.
But here's the thing, like, she is 24.
She's 24.
But she looks like she's 14. But Rex is still in high school, right? So...
Oh, no, it's wrong in every direction.
Yeah.
He is actually a teenager. She is an adult who looks like a teenager. And weirdly, if they were to have sex, I think that... unless he's 18, which he might be. He might be 18. But he's on the teen team, implying that he's a teenager.
Yeah.
But she's technically the adult. She just is the one who looks like an actual child. There's no way in which which I'm okay with it.
I'm so confused. But I also feel bad for her because what else is she supposed to do? Is she just never supposed to have a relationship ever? Like...
No, but just have one with an adult.
But wouldn't that be weirder as a 14-year-old child? She looks 14. You could not go out. If you were seen with a 14-year-old child, people would be like, the fuck? Like...
I'm here... This is going to sound really bad.
Oh, good.
But this is my perspective from being a waiter. I have, at many points, been serving tables and seen girls who could be 16 or could be 27 based on the makeup that they're wearing. And there is a way in which you can make yourself look like an adult in a way that is frankly uncomfortable at sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I have served tables where girls are out with their parents and they, like, jokingly order alcohol, and then the parent, and I'm like, all right, sure, because I don't get it's a joke. And then the parent is like, you're 15, you're not drinking. And I'm standing there going, the hell she is? That's a 25-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, all I'm saying is, like, there are ways with makeup that you could functionally appear older than you do.
Sure, you know, with the type of character I feel like she is, she doesn't seem like the type to spend time on makeup lessons.
If your biggest problem is that you don't look your age, if that is your number one social problem, I feel like there are ways around it.
Yeah, but
and
then you
it's
gotta, like,
not
explain
sleeping
it to
with
people.
a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
If he's a teenager, if he's an adult, we don't actually know his age. So if he's an adult and she's an adult, I'm not gonna, whatever. Like, people look how they look. I'm never gonna be like, don't sleep with someone because of their looks. But it is the fact, the thing that bugs me is that he is a child. She's not a child and looks like a child, and all the way around, it's a very...
It's so uncomfortable.
No, but no, I'm not here saying, like, because of the way she looks, she shouldn't get laid. Like, everyone who is an adult and is fully able to consent should get laid. Like, go have your fun. I would never take that away from another human being. But, like, just because you look like a child does not make it okay to sleep with a child. Because there's nothing that makes it okay to do that. Right? There's no excuse to me personally, and I would hope to most people to break like statutory rape laws.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And like I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable, not because I think it's funny. I'm just very uncomfortable with the idea of it. And like, granted, this world is awful and whatever, but
yeah, there's just so many questions. And here's the thing: that like interaction between them was like 4 seconds, and we've been talking about it for like 4 minutes. It's just like
that interaction was long enough to know that Robot had to come over and be like, "Hey, don't do this."
Yeah, like he's a robot.
Here's the thing: the show had had this conversation about it.
Yeah,
the show was there like, stop sleeping with your teammates, which is the other problem. Like, on top of all the other crap.
Yeah. Yep.
The last team literally would have fallen apart if they hadn't been pulled into Guardians of the Globe, because Adam Eve would have left. She's their strongest member.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't.
Things that hopefully will become clearer next week.
But no, seriously, like, if you looking young is that much of a problem, there are ways to fix it, right? Like, there are things that you can do to appear older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you know, and maybe that won't always work, because she will eventually use her power so much that she'll look 10, and like, then there's nothing you can do. But if she can like stay, because I think that when she's not in her monster form, she does age, right?
Yeah.
So if she could just like not turn for like 2 or 3 years and get to like 16, and then just kind of like hover around 16, at that point you can use makeup to, you know.
Yeah, it's just we don't know exactly how much she like de-ages, because like she definitely hit 24 at some point. Well, no, I guess
she is 24.
She is 24. Yeah, I don't know. It's very
Also, is she immortal? Like, if she just keeps de-aging, will she just forever be a like teenager?
I guess, unless she doesn't use her powers.
Or will she die of old age at some point, despite the fact that she doesn't look old? Like, does she like get to 80 and like internally she's...
Yeah, like, do her organs...
This character brings up the most questions.
Yeah, truly. She's great.
Because it's fun in the action sequences when she becomes the monster, but when you really think about her social life, it just becomes a like whole host of like...
There's a lot going on here. A lot to unpack. Yeah, overall, I don't think it was the strongest episode so far.
No, it was a little convenient.
Yeah. Didn't love it, but still enjoyed it. And I'm still enjoying the show, so.
The characters and like the relationships are so good that the show still feels good when the plot is maybe weaker. Mm-hmm. I think is how I would put it.
Yeah, because I'm less interested in it's not totally true, but I am very invested in the overall plot and the characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so when there's like a kind of subplot that I'm kind of like about, there's enough there to keep me interested.
Well, it's weird when the entire episode is subplot.
Yeah.
Like, this episode was a subplot episode in order to set things up for the future, but the show will really... And I guess, like, the most important development we haven't even talked about, the most important development in the whole episode is that Mark's mom, Sandra Oh's character, is having doubts about Omni-Man.
Yeah.
And I think he maybe sways her a little bit in Rome, but there is that undercurrent of doubt you can never really fully get rid of, right? Without like evidence. And I'm excited for this show to reveal things to characters so that certain characters like Invincible can be a bigger part of the main plot of the show.
Yeah.
Because right now you kind of have to send Invincible off to do things because he can't know yet the main plot. And so your protagonist isn't really a part of the most interesting part of your story.
Yeah. And
the battle between those two things is tough because you literally have to tell your A plot in your B story because your A character has to tell the B story in the A line.
Yeah.
And so it's juggling characters in a way that is tough until people know things. And then the show will open up, and then we'll get to see, obviously the payoff of that is going to be everybody's reaction to finding out the truth. And, how do you stop Omni-Man if he's the villain of the series when they continually show he's still so much faster, so much stronger, so much more capable than Mark.
Than, like, any of the people we've met so far.
And so that'll be fun, but in the meantime, it can get a little bit like, I don't care about Mars. Yeah. I care about what's going on back on Earth, but I also care about Mark, and I just wish he was a part of that.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, but overall, really good show, and the comedy of the show really works for me.
Yeah. It's very funny.
Yeah. You have anything else you want to add? Do we miss anything?
No, I think we kind of covered most of what went on in the episode.
Well, then that's going to be our spoiler chat for episode 4 of Invincible. Thank you for being here. If you want more of this, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you are always brought back to the Nerdy Nightly. We just hit 700 subscribers today, so that is very exciting. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this silly little channel. And if you want more of us, you can find us over on Twitch. I'm over at twitch.tv/nerdynightly, where tonight we are going to be playing Dark Souls. One couple, one controller. That's going to be in at 7 p.m. Eastern, whatever that is in your local time.
Time
zones.
I'm over at twitch.tv/ClarishTakaris.
That's right.
You can find me tomorrow for Skyrim Saturday.
Yeah, you're doing Brienne of Tarth in Skyrim.
Yeah, it's super fun.
How far into that are you?
Not very far. I think we're level 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you want to get on the beginning of that adventure, head over to twitch.tv/ClarishTakaris. And as always, my name is Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
You're Clarus?
I was going to say Clarus.
Did you just give yourself a hyphen in the middle of your name? I'm Clarus.
Yeah.
I'm John Jones. Do something nerdy tonight. Bye.
Bye.